Hey guys, welcome to today's video. It is an exciting one because I do have my mini Starlet palette here by Natasha DENONA. I did get it this week and I have been waiting to dig in with y'all. I wanted to try it out, I wanted to create a look, and I wanted to see if it is that Natasha DENONA formula that I love. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the K-Bella fam. But why don't we go ahead and jump into the video. Before we do dive into the look, I did want to share some swatches. I don't always swatch new palettes, but I did take a moment to shoot a close-up and some swatches of the Starlet palette here. I did pick mine up on the Sephora website. It is $27. I do know that there are some repeat shades in here. I do believe that some of these shades come from both the Starlet palette as well as the Lila palette, neither one of which I have. So I was excited to try it out. I love the Natasha DENONA formula. It is probably my favorite formula, although these little 5 pans have been kind of hit or miss for me. This is definitely my color story. I want to dig in. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. I did already prime my eyes with my Sigma Eye Base in Ignite, and I set the shadow from the crease up with the ABH Tempera shade from the Soft Glam, but I do want to jump in and I kind of want to do something different. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing, although I haven't watched too many videos. I am gonna take my Singe EO1 and I wanna go into this matte shade right here on the end. I don't know if it's nude mauve or per se. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this one is per se, but I wanna pick it up on this brush here, and I actually wanna put this all over the lid. I'm not going to do an all matte look, but I thought that it would be fun to incorporate a matte on the lid. It's not something that I often do, but I feel like the look that I would use as like a go-to look with this palette probably is the same as so many looks that people have created. You know, throwing probably this all over the lid and one of these in the crease, using that to kind of blend out. I didn't want it to be redundant, you know? I wanted something a little bit different. So I thought by taking this deepest shade and kind of going with a smoky vibe, that might be the way to make it a little bit different. I do want to quickly point out, if you see any patching right here or right here on the inner part of my eye, I am struggling with eczema on my eyes. It happens to me probably every couple of years or so where I just struggle with eczema. I have eczema all over, and I mean, it's not fun. If you've ever had super dry flaky skin, it's not fun. But I do want to say this matte is going on nicely and blending very nicely as well. I love my Singe brushes, but I am seeing a little bit of patching just where I have those dry patches. So I wanted to address it. It's not the brush's fault. It's not the shadow's fault. 100% my eye's fault. Now I want to go in with this. Do I want the Singe EO2 or the Singe EO3? Maybe I want the bigger one, the EO3. I'm gonna go in with the EO3 and we're gonna take this lighter shade right here. I think this one is nude mauve, and I am getting some kickback here. I don't mind that. I'm going to put this in the crease, and I'm using this nice fluffy brush, and I thought that this would be a good way to kind of segue that deep matte shade into my crease here. It's going to blend out the deeper matte shade, but it's also not too deep that it's going to make my already small eyes look even smaller. This brush is so soft. Then I think what I'm gonna do is I wanna go into this little detailed brush. It's the Detailed Diffused Crease E33 from Sigma. And I do wanna go into the lightest shade right here. I wanna try to use all of these shades. And I'm just going to use that again to blend out the edge up here. If I don't think this step is necessary. If I was just doing my makeup to do my makeup and like head out the door, I probably would skip this step. I felt like the nude mauve shade that I used was perfect at blending and diffusing, but since this is a first impression, I do want to try and use all 5 shades. I don't typically use 5 shades in a makeup look because I am basic AF, but today we're all about using all these shades. Going in with my BK204, I'm going to go back into the deepest shade here, and we are going to put that along the lower lash line. I'm going to press it in, and we'll go probably, I don't know, halfway in. I'm not going all the way in. I do have small eyes, so I want the depth and dimension out here. If I take it all the way in, it'll make my eyes look even smaller. Going back in with that brush that I used from Sigma, the Detailed Diffused Crease. And do I want this one or this one? Maybe we'll go with the lightest and use that on the lower lash line, but taking it all the way in and kind of diffusing that deeper shade underneath. I do not mind this being messy. I have fine lines and wrinkles that I'm trying to cover up down here. Now I want to go ahead and throw it out there that I think this would be a great look. You could go ahead and put some mascara on, have an all matte look. You could take this on the inner corner. That's what we're going to do in a minute. But like I said, I want to use all of these shades. So I'm going in with the same EO1 that I used earlier with the deeper shade, but we're going to use this shade right here and kind of pack that all over the lid. This is the shade, gosh, this is so confusing. I think Galaxia. I'm not sure if, no, I think Galaxia is the second one. Rhea? I don't know how to read the back of these. Anyway, I am going to spray my brush with Fix Plus. It is picking up beautifully. And I'm just going to press it over the matte shade. I think that looks so pretty. I think it would have looked beautiful had I kept it matte, but the point here is to use all of these shades. So we are going to do that and put this all over the lid. This would have been pretty too, just to kind of focus in the middle. I did put it all over, but I think what I'm gonna do now is kind of focus it in the middle, almost as like a halo eye. I did initially put it all over, but that would be a beautiful halo eye too. Maybe I'll go in with, this is my 207 from BK Beauty. And that first shade that I used to kind of halo this out just a tiny bit more by putting this in the inner and outer corners. That deep shade. That'll create a little bit more of the halo vibe. That might be a better look. If you have small hooded eyes and you're trying to create a halo eye, sometimes that can be a challenge. But I want to say this EO1 is really nice for that because it is almost tapered to a point. It is a smaller brush, and so I can apply the shimmer where I want it, but it's not taking up my entire lid, which is sometimes a problem that I have. So I'm just going in straight halo eye on this side. I'm using a little bit more shadow to kind of blend it together. With this one we're going straight halo over here, and the Singe brush is so easy. It's making my life so easy. So then I do want to go into this shade right here, which I think is Galaxia. I'm going to take my finger, and that is going to be our inner corner pop. And then I've used all of the shades. Oh my goodness. So pretty. So pretty. Let me go ahead and complete the look. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some mascara on, curl my lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the finished look here with some mascara. On my lips, I do have Lunar Beauty Milk Tea mixed with Lanny from the Lunar Beauty Laura Lee Los Angeles lipstick collab. Beautiful. I think it goes great with this eye look. Why don't we go ahead and zoom out and I will share my thoughts on this little mini with you. Okay, so I want to start by saying historically, these smaller palettes have not been my favorite. I tried the mini sunset, I decluttered that. I have the mini retro, I don't find myself dipping into that very often. However, I am a huge Natasha DENONA fan and I love her middies. I think her middies are amazing. But when I saw the color story of the Starlet palette, I was like, wait a minute, these are my tones, this is my vibe. To me, it feels easier to work with than the retro. The retro, I have those like pinky shades and then those green shades and I don't really know how to mesh them together. This, I looked at it and I was like, yes, I can see everyday looks here. So for me, I already loved the color story. I just wanted to see if this was the same great Natasha Denona formula that I knew, or if I felt like these 5 pans had a little bit of a different formula. And I have to say, I did create a look that I don't think I would typically go for. I knew I wanted to use all of the shades, and initially when I looked at this, I was like, okay, crease, blend out all over the lid, perfect. Or I could do crease, blend out, deepen up, all over the lid, and then put that in the inner corner. But I was like, you know what? Let's do something that I feel like is a little bit out of my comfort zone. And I have to say, I love it. I love it. I love it. I think this look turned out great. It's the perfect mix of like neutral everyday, but also a little bit of smoke. You guys know, if you've been here for a while, I'm a basic bee. I love my eyeshadow to just be very basic, muted, toned down. It's my vibe. It's what I love. This gave it to me. And I just feel like it looks amazing. I am excited to play with it more. I felt like this is the formula that I know and love from the midi palette. It seems better quality than the retro, definitely better than the mini sunset. And I do think when I was watching Angelica Nyquist's video, I believe she said that this was the same shimmer shade that was in the retro palette. But to me, it feels a little bit different. The retro palette feels more of a topper, and this did not feel like glittery or like a topper, although I feel like you could use it on top of other shadows. It didn't feel toppery to me. So if it is the same shade, and it very well may be, I do like it in this palette, or at least I like it with this color story. So I am impressed. $27 well spent. I could see myself traveling with this. I could see myself using it on a day-to-day. Like I said, I created something that was outside of my comfort zone, and I still loved it. So if you got your hands on this mini palette, I want to know your thoughts down below. Let me know. If you didn't get your hands on it, are you planning to? What do you think? Let us know if you have tried this out. Otherwise, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.